Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein here with another installment of Rabbi E in 3, brought to you as always by MEOR DC. MEORDC.com, that's our website, or find us on Facebook at MEOR DC. Check it out, learn about our programs, and be in touch. There's a darkness on the edge of town. There's a darkness on the edge of town. Why am I singing a Bruce Springsteen song? It's a great song, and he's a great artist, one of my favorites. But I'll tell you why I'm singing Darkness on the Edge of Town, because I just realized tonight that this background looks a lot like the cover of his blockbuster 1978 album, Darkness on the Edge of Town. Check it out, baby boomers and other people. It's one of the great albums of all time, but it looks like him. Now, the background, I think in his album there's a wallpaper in the background, and of course he is wearing a leather jacket, has a lot of hair. He's in his 20s. I'm a middle-aged rabbi with not much hair and no leather jacket. But check it out, seriously. It looks like Darkness on the Edge of Town. But there's another connection. Another connection. This week's Torah portion, not just a darkness on the edge of town, a darkness that permeated the whole world and led to its destruction. This is the portion of Noach, the second portion of the book of Genesis. God told Noah, who was a prophet and a righteous man, uniquely righteous in those generations, I'm going to destroy all mankind. Why? It says the earth had become corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with Hamas, stealing. What does it mean the earth had become corrupt before God? Rashi, the great commentator based on the oral tradition, tells us that word vatishachet, which really means to be destroyed, or be corrupt, it refers to two primary sins, idolatry and sexual immorality. So those generations were doing very, very bad things, not just worshiping idols, but stealing people's wives and wife swapping and bestiality and all manner of sexual immorality and idolatry and stealing. Those were the sins of the generation. But when God speaks directly to Noah and tells him that he's going to wipe out his beloved mankind created in his image, he doesn't mention the corruption. He says, the end of all flesh has come before me because the earth is filled with stealing, Hamas, robbery, stealing, taking. Why doesn't God mention the idolatry and the adultery and the sexual immorality? Our sages tell us, as bad as all of those sins they did were, and they were very bad, what broke the straw that broke the camel's back was the stealing. They took from each other. At every level of society, they stole. They stole even minute amounts of other people's property. They stole, and they weren't desperate. They weren't poverty-stricken. They weren't poor and underprivileged. The world was good. There was bountiful crops, and everything was beautiful there, but they took and they stole. The earth was filled with stealing. That's what led Hashem to destroy that generation. Idolatry, adultery, very, very, very bad. But stealing undermined the very foundations of a collective group of people, society. Stealing permeated that world. Rav Gedalia Shor, a very great rabbi in the 20th century, says really the root of all transgressions is stealing. In other words, that generation did steal, and the Midrash says they stole clothes off each other's back, they stole from each other, they stole wives and husbands or whatever. But every sin at its root is a form of stealing, because God gave us power and life and energy and talent and ability to sanctify His name, to make this world permeated with goodness and holiness and righteousness. And when we take those powers and use it to do something directly against His will, that is a form of robbery. That's stealing. So every sin is a form of stealing. And that's why God said to Noah, the earth is filled with stealing, with Hamas. Yes, that includes violent robbery. Yes, that includes adultery and stealing someone's spouses. But just destroying the fabric of life and the purpose of life, which is to elevate ourselves in this world. That's what that generation was guilty of. Oh, it was a darkness on the edge of town throughout the whole world. It led to a destruction. And we're supposed to learn from that the opposite of that is what builds the world. Giving, helping others, being benevolent people. So, whether you like Springsteen or not, whether you like my rendition of Darkness or not, we're born to run, and we're born to do kindness and give to each other. Have a great Shabbos.